Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your spirit guide message for love and relationships. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is not me. They are a scammer. Do not be scammed. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aries, spirit guide message for Aries, love and relationships. Spirit guide message for Aries, love and relationships. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. Let me just move my camera just a bit so that you can see things a bit better. Okay. All right, I think that's good. Now let's see the chakra energy for this time. This is going to be where we need to focus on for love to come into our lives, or for us to be balanced within love, within the relationships that we have within our life, even romantic relationships, or even just like, the day-to-day relationships. So let's see here. Or also relationships with our family, with our children. So let's see. Aries, spirit message for Aries. Relationships, love and relationships. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. And then finally, what we need to be aware of, the energy that we need to be mindful of during this time, which will cause us a bit of trouble. What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of? Love and relationships, in love and relationships. What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of in love and relationships? Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Okay. So we're crowned here. Goodness. With the Five of Wands. So there can be conflict within things. This can be an argument that started off so small and so stupid, but just blew up into something that even now you're looking at it and being like, how did we get here? How did this happen? So there's that sort of conflict that's coming forward, that's crowning the whole situation. We then have the Seven of Pentacles, to be patient for the wealth that is coming. And we might be very well at the end of our ropes. We have the Lovers, which shows love, but it also shows that love has multiple paths forward. And it deals with a duality of understanding, and it shows a change coming. Love also represents, the Lovers also represents Gemini energy, May 21st to June 20th being the time frame. It leads us then to the Ten of Swords, a dying away of the old self and a rebirth of the new through tremendous knowledge, tremendous wisdom. It's been a hard road. Nobody's going to deny that. And then we have Judgment. It's the resurrection out of the box. It's like, my love won't fit in a box. It can't be just like this. I'm different. And there gets to be a beauty to that. And there gets to be this rising of self and desire and where we want to stand and who we want to be. And then we have the 10 of Wands. It's very interesting. We have the repeat of the number 10, which reiterates this sense of a rebirth, a coming together, an end of a cycle. The 10 of Wands is putting down burdens. It's like, I can't carry this anymore. And I don't want to, which can bring tremendous amount of guilt, because there's something here that we've been trying to fix, or there's something that we have been carrying. Now, this burden can be different for each and every one of us. It can be the burden of not being able to fix our parents' relationships. We could have been carrying that with us our whole entire lives. It could be the burden of not having the relationships with our caregivers that we wanted, or with our romantic partners that we wanted, or even with friends. And it's a sense of, why am I always in conflict with this? But it's also a sense of, I need to release. And that's going to be something that we war with during this time, that need for release, that need to stop saying, this is my fault, and these are the burdens that I put on my shoulders. It's like, there needs to be more here than what we had originally thought. Oh, goodness. What we had originally seen. Let me just move these forward without ruining them. Okay, good. So there's this beauty coming that has been waited for, and that has been overwhelming. Now, let's see what our chakra energy is for this time. And that's self-mastery, which is really important during this time. It's the solar plexus chakra. And with our solar plexus chakra comes a need to rely on our gut, to rely on our gut feel for things, to rely on what we desire, on how we're moving forward, of what we're looking for. And there is a real sense here of being in alignment with who we are and needing to be in alignment. Now, the chaos can be within us. It can be that we tried to escape, that we tried to not deal with the issues at hand. And it's just kind of like, I can't handle this burden anymore. And now with the self-alignment, with the self-mastery, we're starting to see, and we're starting to kind of like dissect things bit by bit, and realizing I'm stronger than I realized. There's more to this than I had thought. And that there's a power moving me forward that before I had overlooked. And there is a sense of coming into ourselves more and more. Now, this can be through meditation. This could be through physical activity, like something that we do for ourselves, not that we do for everybody else. It can be through, just taking time to journal or to self-reflect. And there is going to be this great sense of the power of the self. And it's not being selfish. And that's what we have to be aware of during this time. It's not being selfish. It's not being, overwhelmed or angry or thinking, I just can't do this. It's like, I need to take time for me in order to bring more to the table, in order for me to know myself, in order for me to heal the hurts and the pains and the chaos that has been driving this ship for just way too long. And then the energy we have to be mindful of is the Princess of Swords. This is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But we're talking about the energy. So it can be that we need to be mindful of certain people. It can be very much so that we're having a quarrel with a Gemini, or somebody who has just very opposing opinions to our own. And it's like, well, how do I stay in this? How do I, move forward from this? Where is it that I want to be? The Princess of Swords is somebody who quite literally acts like a princess at times. And this can manifest into us in our relationships. During this time, it can be, we just get so fed up and it's like, you know what, I'm done. And the other person will sit there and be like, why are you being such a princess? And that'll really annoy us. And we want to come back with something biting and hurtful and a little bit hate tinged. Just be mindful of that. But also be mindful that we're going to be running up against that sort of energy during this time of somebody who becomes just very selfish, very self-absorbed. And we can't even think, wow, that person's just being a princess. And this isn't in that good way. It's in that overbearing, oh my goodness, everything doesn't have to be your way sort of way. And there is a sense here that what we are looking for is we're looking for mutual understanding. But what we're not getting is that understanding. We're not getting the person to speak the same language that we are speaking. Or we are speaking the same language, right? But we're reading from different books on different chapters. And it's all so confusing. And so here it's stepping back and saying, well, what do I want? And it's really boiling it down and taking away the selfishness, okay? Because we're going to see, Aries, that when we say, this is what I want, the next thing that we're going to feel is like, wow, that's super selfish. Wow, I can't possibly do that. I'm just putting more fuel on the fire. I'm just adding more chaos. And we're grounded and rooted. We're grounded and rooted in fire sign energy. So we're grounded and rooted in our element. But our element here is overwhelmed. So at times we feel overwhelmed within ourselves, within what we want. The Five of Wands shows conflict, and we're crowned with conflict. Now, this conflict can be in the day-to-day happenings of life. This conflict can just be that, you're kind of working your tush off and nobody is realizing it, or you're not getting the credit for it that you believe you deserve, or that you do deserve. And so here, there's just a sense of frustration, and it's a mounting frustration. And when we see this with relationships, it's kind of like this is right before kind of like the top blows. So what we need to do is we need to step back, and we need to say, what do I need? What do I want? What's important to me? Why am I swallowing everything so often and biting back my words and, afraid that I'm going to be misunderstood yet again? And how do I move forward? Being confident and competent within myself. There's also a real need here to look at the internal chaos that we hold and to understand that this internal chaos has been hindering us. And it's not something that we may even be fully aware of. But if we sit in meditation, if we start to journal, if we, just start to talk to ourselves, or even just pull a few cards on the subject and say, well, tell me, where is this chaos? I mean, we can do this right now. Where is this chaos? Show me. We're going to put out your soul card right here. Show me the chaos of Aries. Yeah, and it's right here. Okay? It's the King of Pentacles, and it's the Nine of Wands. So there's a real sense, oh goodness, okay, as I get tripped up, okay, there's a sense, and it can be around an earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay, this person could have planted seeds of chaos within your life just so easily, but it can also be around money, it could be around security, it could be around dreams being planted, hopes that we have, and then we have the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is very much the sense of, I'm listening to everybody. Everybody's way of having the most prosperous relationship that you can have, of not being enough, of, being too much, of, and everything in between. Because what's so easy with everybody else in this world and with everybody in this world is that it's really easy to tell other people what they're lacking. But it's really hard to kind of pull the plank out of our own eye. So here, with the King of Pentacles, there's issues around prosperity. And it can be having the prosperous relationship that we want. Or it can be, if I turn my back on this, will it be prosperous? Will I be able to have the wealth, the bounty, the success that I want? And everybody's telling me something just a little bit different. Or they're making me feel bad for thinking there's more to life than this. And for hoping that there had to be something more than what I'm being burdened with. And it moves us to the Seven of Pentacles. There's this real sense that divinity is saying, be patient. Be patient and wait to see what evolves. Be patient and look at what is desired. Be patient because I know patience is horrible. And I know we don't like it, especially as human beings, or really anybody. We want what we want when we want it. And the Seven of Pentacles is saying there's something beautiful that is growing. We cannot have it all at once. It has to evolve. It has to take root. It has to bloom. It has to mature. And that's what we're seeing within ourselves. But it's also within the prosperity that we are struggling with here. There's a sense of it's not quite time yet. And what that means within the realms of relationships, of all relationships, it's kind of like, don't take things right now at face value. You're going to have to dig just a little bit deeper. You're going to have to look just a little bit more closely to what is desired, to where we really want to be, to, the bigger picture that we are looking for. Because there is a change coming. And that change is more profound than originally realized. And it lies more deeply in the evolution of growth. And it brings us then to the Lovers. And the Lovers is, of course, what we want to see in relationships. We want to see love. We want to see passion. We want to see joy. But there is a problem we have in our modern world. One person is supposed to be our everything. And it's terribly romantic and sounds like Byron when you say it. But it's not. We can't have one person be our best friend and our greatest confidant and our, fantastic lover and everything in between. And if you do, that's amazing. You're a rarity, not the norm. We need a group of people around us. We need support groups and family and friends and people that we love to help lift us up, to help be a part of our world. It can't just be put on one person's shoulder, because that person will always fail, and we will always fail if it's only just the two of us. So here, there's something more. Excuse me. Something more that's needed. It's also knowing that there are different paths. There are different types of love. And there are different ways of calling love into our life, or to expanding that love within our hearts and our souls. There is a need here to see things differently. To say, okay, we don't agree, and that's fine. But we need to agree on the fundamentals. We need to have the strong basis. The lovers need the love. They need the passion, but it's not going to be those 6 months when the pheromones are just skyrocketing high within the body. Love. But that's what we want. It needs that slow, steady build. That's why I'm a huge fan of Karetza. I have that linked in the description box below. There's this need for the bonding. There's this need for the connection. There's this need for the love and the understanding. And there's this need to have more than just you and the person against the whole entire world. It's too heavy a load for each shoulder to bear, for only 2 shoulders to bear. So there needs to be a beauty here, a sense of this is us building our love, but this is our world also building us up. And it leads us to the 10 of Swords. I mean, this idea of love, which is not, the storybook love, which is not the fantasy love. It's hard to learn, and it's hard to understand. We all want our prince in shining armor, or our princess to let down her hair and for beauty to come. We all do. But that's a lot to put on ourselves. The 10 of Swords is this transformation. It's being a little bit wiser. It's being a little bit older. It's understanding ourselves and our souls and our desires. It's the heartbreak and the pain, and it's the kissing the frogs, and it's the wondering if I'll ever. It's a lot. But there's a lot to life. And the 10 of Swords is being resurrected. And it's coming out of that box, and that's why I love the Judgment card following it. It's like, but this is me. I've worked so hard, and I've come so far. And you're following a call of divinity, a call of our angels, a call of our spirit guides, to expand our world, to embrace our hearts, to help us see that we can rise. We're also coming out of the sorrow. And the 10 of Swords brings with it sorrow. Why? Because it's never an easy lesson to learn. It's never an easy, symbolically, cross to bear. It's hard. And there's suffering, and there's hurt, and there's pain. But there's beauty, and there's hope. And it's a sense of looking at the wealth of knowledge given. Because remember, always, swords are power. Swords showed power. In the medieval world, you could not wield a sword if you were not a noble. And a noble's life compared to a peasant's life, though in our modern standards was still really bad, was so much better than peasant's world. And so we have the 10 of Swords. We have doubts and fears and anger, but we have a wealth of knowledge in our backs. And we take out the swords. We rise through hurt and pain and disappointment. And we find out we have a treasure trove, if we can see it. Most people, the majority of our world, we can never get past the hurt and the pain, the devastation of the swords. But if we can, there's power there. There's true and everlasting power there. It changes the countenance of the being. It changes the power, the ferocity of our souls, of the way our eyes shine. It leads us to the judgment. It leads us to that resurrection, that power, that beauty, that sense of there is more here. There is more here than what I thought. I don't have to just settle. I don't have to just be quiet. Be quiet and wait for what they do not know. But wait for happiness maybe to come, or for the suffering to end. I don't have to be passive within my own life. I rise, and I take my dawn with me. I take my grace and my beauty and the power of my world with me. And it brings us to the 10 of Wands. It brings us to a release of burdens, a release of anger and doubt and fear. And it's also saying, I can't carry everything. There are some things I'm just going to have to let go of. There are some things I'm just going to have to say, no, it's not me. It's not what I want. It's not what I need. I also cannot carry anybody else's life for them. They have to carry their own. We try that in love especially. We try with the people that we love, romantic partners and just people who are part of our hearts. We try to take their burdens from them, to say, I can carry you. I can hold on to you. I can ease your pain. But here's the thing. We all have to learn our own lessons, and we're actually doing no one any good, keeping them from walking their road honestly and truthfully. The 10 of Wands has us no longer looking down at our feet, no longer feeling as if dreams are for everybody else and not for us. And it moves us then. It moves us then to a shift, to a claiming of power. And it moves us to our spirit message for this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh. Magical breath. I like that. It moves us to connecting with our self-mastery, with our breath, with our magic, with the magic of this world, with the beauty and the understanding. It comes with the growing. They all have crescent moons. Crescent moons grow and become more. Now, or either, they shrink and become less, showing us the full expanse. And we can go either way. We could say, this is the spotlight, this is what it's doing, or we can pull back and say, this is the piece, this is everything that I need to see. But the magic is going to be in the breath. They say divinity is between the words. It's not the words that are said. We find God in conversations, divinity, the universe, however you say it, however you see it, in the in-betweens. And that's going to be so important now. It's looking at the person, our love, our passion. And it's finding that divinity in the in-betweens. If we can. If we can't, well, that's a completely different story, isn't it? It leads us then to our subconscious. Not to our subconscious, to our spirit animal message, which here tells a bit of a story of being loyal to what we love with the dog spirit. Because we need to tend to the small things. It's the small things that build up love. And as we tend to the small things, watch our words. Because we will speak into existence what we love, but also what we abhorred. So that's going to be very important. Life is speeding up. So as we are loyal to what we love, as we tend to the small things, as we know that it's not, the big grand gestures that make up love, but it's the small little acts of remembrance and kindness. We watch our words because words hold such great power. And it brings us to the fact that life is speeding up. Life is moving forward. And it connects us to sweet results. The sweet results await as we reevaluate where we stand, why we stand there, what we want, where we're headed. Now, our subconscious spirit animal message is the frog spirit. Clear out the clutter. In relationships, in our lives, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. It's time to free ourselves. As we do so, we connect with family. We connect with our biological families or the people who raised us. We connect with the people who have become like family to us. We connect with that beauty. It leads us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is grounding, the Earth Star chakra. We need to be grounded in ourselves, in what we want, in what we long for, in who we are. There's no wishy-washiness during this time. It's kind of like that becomes distasteful to us. It's like, no, I want the facts. I want things to be solid. I want things to be real. And we will find during this time that we rebel against everything that we think is going against that mantra. I want things to be solid and I want things to be real. So anything that we feel is fake, superficial, we will rebel against it, even if before we were perfectly happy with it. It's like, oh, okay, this looks good. I'm good with that. Now we're going to be like, no, 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 no. I can't have it. The energy to be mindful of, the Queen of Cups. Emotional manipulation, where I can love you, but only if you do what I say. The wisdom comes in with love. The wisdom isn't contingent on anything. Now, this isn't to be mistaken, now Spirit is saying, this isn't to be mistaken with respect and care and cooperation and compromise. But this is a person who uses love as a weapon, who uses, the heart as a tool. Now, the subconscious message is the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is then they all live happily ever after. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the happiness. We're looking for the joy. We're seeking it more so now than ever before. Why? Because we have 3 tens. Divinity is leading us to the completion of a cycle, to more than what we had realized, to more than what we had hoped for, to beauty and to brilliance. And it's having that love fill us and guide us. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as our subconscious leads us to an everlasting, powerful, brilliant love. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.